Jen's channels are a shell of what they could be. She has multiple channels.
I've got just way too much stuff.
Stop talking, Jen Talks Forever. In today's YouTuber intervention, we're gonna show her how she can make those channels she has a little bit more clear, focused, and turn it into a business that could instantly change her life. We're on the road. We're heading from Orlando to Tampa to meet up with Jen. Jen's got, I think she has 3 for herself, and then she's got her husband's channel that she's helping with and another client that she's helping with a YouTube channel. The cool part about Jen is she used to work for CNN and knows a lot about the ins and outs of the news industry. Cool thing to like meet up with her and figure out what she's got going on, but at the same time, it seems like she's got some, I don't want to say issues, but she needs some more clarity because it feels like she's kind of just spinning her wheels right now, so to speak, which I think a lot of YouTubers have that.
I've noticed my views have kind of plateaued.
And also figure out what she can do on the business side of things. Got my 2 big cups of coffee in, so I'm ready to go. A little bit more driving, which can be stressful on I-4 here in Florida, so hopefully we don't get in an accident on the way there. We're going to Tampa! It's gorgeous!
Keep left to merge onto Salmon Expressway west toward downtown.
So we're about to go in. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We're gonna find out what her setup is and kind of figure out what she's got going on with her channels, and hopefully I can give her some good advice. So let's check it out.
You guys are here. Come on in.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. All right, this is the Sewing Report headquarters.
Awesome.
So normally whenever we move into a place, we use the living dining room space for sewing and filming. So this one has a pretty decent setup and it's got tile floors, which I like. This is sort of a secondary area that I can film, you know, talking head videos or have a backdrop for photos, or if I'm making something and I want to have a photo of me wearing it. And then over here, this is my sewing table, craft table. Since I do crafty stuff, I've got just way too much stuff. I've got it kind of cleaned up for you guys.
It seems like you got like a lot going on. Like you know your stuff with the lighting, huh? Is that like from
lights.
Your background in CNN, basically, or?
Sort of. I actually watched way too many Parker Welbeck lighting videos.
Okay.
I've had to teach myself all the videography stuff because I didn't really do that at work, weirdly enough. So I was a producer, so I worked on more of the editorial side. So I'm kind of new to the video world myself. I'm excited to get my channel looked at. I definitely need an intervention. So I'm really excited you guys are here.
Actually, I wanted to talk maybe about a couple of your channels and kind of see where you're at and where you want to go.
Right. So this is the Sewing Report channel, and I ended up quitting my job. I think I was around 7,000 subscribers, and now I'm up to 20,000. But I've noticed my views have kind of plateaued. I'm getting more subscribers, but things are not really, my views are not really getting a lot of traction. So I'm not really sure what's wrong, but I would like to try to figure out how I can kind of keep that number going up, instead of having it stay the same.
Can I jump in and
start
clicking stuff? Is that okay? First of all, you got to get on Studio Beta. That's number one.
I know.
It took me a while. I'm still not completely
stable.
So the first thing I would go to is your Reach Viewers tab under Analytics, your impression to click-through rate. That's a big thing right now, right? Last 365 days, so you get a better sense. 3.7 hasn't changed much. You can get a sense of how your thumbnails are doing by clicking that, you know. So overall, I mean, it's not terrible, it's not great, it could be better. The things that you want to keep in mind with this is what your thumbnail looks like and what your title says. Let's just take a look and see if we can...
the moment of truth.
Well, actually, one other thing that we want to look at too is average view duration, 3:29. And that's one thing I would be really focusing on. Like I always focus with my channel. How can I get my next video to get more than that?
Okay.
How can I get it more than, well, this is last 28 days. But yeah, I mean, and that's usually what I use as my baseline, last 28 days. For that, for click-through rate, I go a little more overall. But let's take a look at some of your videos. I want to also talk about like your other channels and see what we got going on. What I think would be good to focus on, and ultimately, like, what can you make a business out of?
And that's the thing I struggle with is how can this be more than just a YouTube channel?
Right, and so I'm going to tell you right off the bat, before I even go into your other channels, number one, I would figure out which channel you want to spend the most focus on. Maybe have a second channel as like sort of your side hustle, but with that main channel, focus on growing that and then building a business. And the good thing is, like, if you build like more of like, I have like a digital product type business, you can set a lot of things up and a lot of it can run on autopilot. Okay, I got that set up. Then you can do something with a second business. Back to what we were doing though with this channel, videos. Let's go to sorting by views. So this is your highest viewed video. So I want to get a sense of like what's going on with this one and what's your click-through rate on that. So I'm going to click to Analytics when we're on that video. I'm going to go to 365 days, and then I want to click this Reach Viewers again. Click-through rate's crushing it. So right there, That's why this video is killing. A big reason why it's killing it. Like, it's twice. So the way I always explain it is like, you know, it's only 3%. No, it's not only 3%. It's 3 versus 6. That's double the views from the same amount of impressions. So when you're like, you know, going from like even just 3 to 4%, that's a big boost in views. So what you'd want to do is say, what's going on with this thumbnail? What makes it work? What makes it pop? It's clean. It's simple. The colors pop out. That's a good baseline to get an idea for that. I would click the interest viewers. Like, these are the 2 tabs I do a lot of time in. Average view duration, 549, which it's a 19-minute, 30-second video, so that's above your average view duration. Part of it is because it is a longer video. I've found for my channel, like, getting people to 50% at the end just doesn't happen. Yeah. I've tried making 4-minute videos, like lots of cuts, super engaging, getting them interacting, and even then, no. So what I would do is make just videos that are longer, and you're almost by default gonna get more higher watch time.
The most popular videos on the channel are mostly about sewing machines.
Okay, and now that's the other thing I want to look at too is, so sewing machines. So there you already know a topic. So I would latch onto that, make a series of that, number 1, and number 2, focus on that the thumbnail's good and that they're long. How long are your videos typically?
They're usually at least 7 minutes. Most of them are at least 6 to 7 minutes long.
Okay. let me go to date uploaded just to get a sense for what they are now. 554, 741, 1041. So just looking at this right now, look at which ones. This one's one of your most viewed recent ones. This one, they're both pretty long, right? Your 554 one isn't doing good. 741 isn't doing as many views. And when I click views, look at what these times are. 1930, 1305. 716 is an outlier. Maybe you know, it's the topic that unboxing. It's something
actually,
probably different.
There were no videos about this machine at all on YouTube when I made that. That was the first YouTube video about that particular model.
Okay, so you probably were the first.
So it was kind of a hot topic. Yeah, so I jumped on that.
Yeah, when you're the first of a trend. So that's one thing right there too. It takes a little bit more of like being on the ball, but like if you know something's coming out, try to be like ready for it. Make a schedule. Like, what are the new things coming out? How can I make a video about this before anybody else does? I like watching a lot of sneaker reviews. I'm a sneakerhead. A lot of people, like, they were just doing reviews. Now people are talking about the sneakers before they even come out and what the leaks are on it. You could go that angle, be like, what to expect from this new sewing machine. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you could be like the only person doing that.
Well, it's funny you say that because, so I used to do a live show every Sunday, and it was usually from like at like 2 or 3 p.m. and it was usually an hour long, and that definitely had a better watch time on it, but I was getting a lot of complaints about the show not being enough sewing, and it was more me talking about sewing. So I wasn't quite sure how to balance out the people that just want to watch like straight up sewing videos versus the people that will watch me just chatting with them, and that was kind of a difficult balance.
So there's two things you want to keep in mind with that. The more you do your videos a certain way, your audience will kind of get built around that expectation. But the other thing is, you know, there are certain things, even if the audience kind of has that expectation, doesn't mean they like it. We'd want to dig into your audience retention reports, which we will do. If you look, like almost all these videos are like close to 10 minutes or more.
That's true.
You don't want to just make it long for the sake of making it long. I would have it be content, and if you're going to be doing some explaining, maybe have some action going or some B-roll while you're talking. But let's not make any assumptions. Let's go into your retention reports and see. Do you spend any time in these, really?
I do, actually. I get a little bit of a hockey stick. It's definitely not at Daryl's 50%. But it's better than some of the other videos. So I've never had a viral video, and I feel like I could get more traction just making overall more appealing videos.
Oh wow, look at this bump here. What is that? Okay, so there's already something that's standing up from the bird's eye view. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Using a serger doesn't have to be a frustrating experience. I'm going to share some quick tips to make your life a little bit easier. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jennifer Moore.
That's not bad. I would even shorten that up, like a quick flash. Like mine, I show my logo while I'm talking as B-roll.
I've been thinking about that too.
I hate to say it, but no one cares about your logo.
Nobody cares.
I mean, it's good to get it out there for like if you are going to offer a product or service, so there's that trust and familiarity when it's on your sales pages and your checkout, but like you don't have to make a show of it.
Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jennifer Moore, helping you discover your love of sewing, and we're here with the Brother 1034D serger. I love this thing. I use it several times a week. It is a great value, and I'm going to share with you a few tips that I have learned from real practical experience that will hopefully help you not make the same mistakes I have. So let's get started.
Okay, so not too bad. I mean, you can see a pretty big drop off.
Yeah.
And really, I think you're giving a pretty good hook. The big thing I'm pushing more towards with my channels and people that I'm working with is like, if you can give that information as like part of step one. So you were saying like, there's a lot of mistakes that I found that I made. You know, you'd be like, so here's what we're gonna start off doing. And so people feel like they're already in the process, and then you can kind of share that information, just changing that scripting a little, just to make them feel like, okay, she's already starting, and then you can kind of mention some of those things. And again, I'm not saying the information before this point isn't pertinent or helpful, but like if you can like weave it into the steps, I think it's a better way of going about it. Let's see what else we got.
This is not going to be a full-out tutorial, but what I am going to do is show you a few little things that I've picked up just from working with this machine that have made my life a little less frustrating. So the first thing that I would recommend is to always make sure you test out the exact scrap of fabric.
So what I'm gathering is these are tips and things, like, so again, people don't feel like they're in the process.
Yeah.
So again, making that same tip part of step one or step two, like, so, you know, here's what we're gonna do, but you wanna make sure that you test it out with this fabric, making that like back here as part of step one, just that framing it differently for people like, oh, okay, she's already started. So let's jump forward here because we can see it's gonna flatten out, and I bet that's where you're like starting to like show.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I really just bought it for that one function, which is to finish your seams. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this double knit in here.
So this is
So
step
make
one.
sure when you're using your serger,
And
you want the...
So I'm just curious.
And I didn't realize this was gonna do so well. I could certainly do more videos with like more clear, like, hey, here's 7 things you need to know about your serger.
Right.
Something like, I do think I need to do some more videos about the machine. The ones with the machines do really well.
One thing I'm noticing too, where it flattens out here, what happens?
It's where the close-up.
Yeah, the angle changes. So maybe even just getting some angle changes in there to keep things fresh, I think would be good. And then let's see, it drops off right here.
I'm probably gone, but nobody wants to see me.
Honestly, it might be that. I think what it is when you show the sewing machine, everyone's like, okay,
They want that part.
They want to see what you're doing. So they're like, when they see the head, it's Jen Talks Forever.
Jen Talk, I know.
They see Jen, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, she's talking again. I get it because I do how-to stuff too. So like, you know, like the stuff you're explaining is important, it's helpful, all this. But at the end of the day, people on YouTube are impatient. Just show me what I need to do and shut up.
And that's the thing. I think it took me a long time to start to realize is that the way I watch YouTube videos, I need to produce the content for someone, like, for whoever's watching it, and not for me. The content is not for you.
Right, exactly. It's always the audience comes first. Within reason, don't sell your soul and do stuff you hate.
Actually, the sewing underwear is one of the most popular ones.
Okay.
Yeah. I love having scissors by the
Let me see. Yeah, I suppose that's kind of like a trendy, or not a trendy, viral type.
We also did a
topic.
live stream where my husband sewed underwear.
That's awesome.
Guy sews, we titled it like Man Sews Lingerie Live.
So, and that's, you know, I think the more you can come up with creative ideas like that, like that's like, I would watch, I don't care about sewing if I'm being 100%.
You watch a dude make an underwear.
But I would watch a dude sew some underwear. No, but seriously, like, it's just like,
yeah.
Like, what's gonna happen in this video?
Curiosity type thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just got some of that shock value. So let's see. I want to see what happens. There's 2 big spikes. I just want to see what's going on there. So one of the biggest takeaways I can give you is that scripting change, and then figuring out what shots are performing better. So the close-ups on the sewing machine seem to really help.
So you see, I'm stretching out the fabric as I sew. So when it snaps back into place, it's actually more of the stitch length you want. It's interesting.
Now,
if I put this on a narrower stitch.
So what I think is happening there is people are maybe like not catching that tip or finding that tip helpful. They're rewinding to re-see it.
To try to figure out what is going on.
Yeah, to get a better understanding, or they were maybe kind of zoned out mentally for a little bit and they're like, oh wait, what happened? And there's also some quick camera changes, like this going from this to you back to this.
Yeah. So you see, I'm stretching out the fabric.
So for those people that are skimming and hovering and seeing what it shows down here, they're probably seeing that. Let's see what this other bump is down here.
You want to make sure that when you're running this, I think I'm threading it, and I did a separate video just on the threading, and I tried to get better angles.
So here's the big thing too, and I did this on a review for my friend. He does a art class channel where he teaches how to do art projects. And the takeaway I got is very similar to yours. When he's kind of just like talking, and it's showing more just like him with just, you know, nothing really happening on screen, it's not performing well.
Yeah.
Just the context of where the camera is. So before, you gave all these tips. And it's you on camera. Retention drops, retention drops, retention drops.
So true.
You give the same tips while you're doing it with the camera close up.
Yeah.
You're getting these spikes and people are like engaged. Oh, what is she gonna say? Just from having that change. So I think if you can get more of that in, like that'll help keep your retention higher in general.
In sewing, people want to see close-ups.
Right. So I think, yeah, just in the edit, it's just an edit change.
Yeah.
You've already got the angles. Just favor those angles a little bit more. Just to keep people mentally refreshed. That those cuts can keep people engaged. That's the big takeaway I got from the retention side. I think I would pay attention to. Topics, I would be looking at that, you know, like the sewing men's underwear or whatever the case means. Things that have, you know, trending topics, you know, such and such wore this garment. I'm gonna see if I can make something similar.
Things that are popular.
Yeah.
I think I need to be more, pay attention to the trends more.
Fashion things, trending maybe celebrities, and then also from the review side of things, what's coming up? Can you give a news segment? So like, and stuff like that you could do, or you could just, you know, maybe use some screen grabs of leaked product images.
And I did do a few live shows where we talked about all the new sewing machines on the market, and those did really well.
Exactly. Keep in mind, like all those topics that I just gave you and we just talked about, those get more viral type traffic or whatever you want to call it, suggested, home feed, and pop. And give you those little boosts, but at the same time, I would have some more of your just here's how to do this.
Yeah,
and
just
something
do some, like I was telling you,
evergreen
techniques.
content.
Yeah, like here's how you thread a needle, here's how you do a narrow hem. Most of those videos wouldn't be super complicated production. I've just been struggling with finding like more of a voice here, and that's something I think it shows in the content lately too.
You said that, you know, your audience is a little different. You're going for a little bit of younger demographic.
And I do want younger people.
That would fit with it perfectly.
Yeah.
So let's look at a couple other videos. I just want to take a look at your click-through rate so we can get an idea of like what's working on your thumbnail. So this is one of your second most, 101,000 views. So that's another one that's crushing it. I got a feeling that thumbnail is doing well. I have a couple like that.
Where I show a few different examples.
Yeah. Last 365 days. Reach viewers. Bada bing, bada boom. 4.7. Well above your channel average.
Yeah.
Also a 13-minute video. So that combination, having a little bit longer video and a really good thumbnail. Let's look at one more. 3.9%. So above average, not crushing it. And you know, it does look a little bit busier, just like, I know it's like simple, but like that fabric has a little design to it, so it seems like there's more going on, and it's hard to see what's going on with that for sure. So like clarity on thumbnails is huge, especially when you consider like little mobile devices. It's not a bad thumbnail, I just don't think it pops quite as much as the other ones, but it's still above your channel average. So this one, click-through rate again is a little bit lower, and I think with this one it's just so much white that it's like nothing really pops out as much. If you could get the sewing machine, since the sewing machine is white for like most of your thumbnails, I think it would be good to have either some more color in the thumbnail, like I'm seeing in this one and this one. I don't know how good you are with Photoshop and whatnot.
Pretty good.
If you can cut the sewing machine out and put just a colored background behind it, maybe I would experiment with that.
Also, I've gone through a few generations of thumbnail styles, and I wanted to get your thoughts on which like style you think might be working the best.
Yeah, for my personal opinion, just what pops to me is I think the ones that have a little bit more color is the big thing I'm noticing, number one. Number two, the text to get it, you know, pretty clear. And it seems like you've got that on most of these. There's an underwear one, lingerie.
Yeah, that one.
But I mean, really, stuff like that, it's like, who else is doing that? You know what I mean? Like, I doubt there's probably very few channels doing it. It's unique. It pops. Like, okay, what is this? I've never seen this.
Do you like the style more with like half the screen being the text, or more like full screen and then text on top?
I wouldn't care about what I like. I think both can work. What I would mainly focus on what's getting the highest click-through rate. So what I would do is experiment. Do you have I know you have TubeBuddy, do you have the upgraded version where you can A/B test?
I do not have the upgraded version.
Get the upgraded version. What I would do is I would run A/B tests on your top all these videos.
How do they A/B test?
So every other day it switches. So you'll make a new thumbnail, and on day one it shows old thumbnail, day two new. Old, new, and it just keeps repeating. And you could set how many days, and it'll analyze and measure the click-through rate of both. The awesome part about that is, if let's say one of these is getting like 3% click-through rate, and your new one's getting 6%, that video is gonna shoot up. I've had it happen. Like, the video's doing pretty good, and then I'm like, this is a good video. I know it should be getting more views than this. And I do that A/B test, video gets a ton more views.
Do you feel like it's worthwhile to go through and change all your old thumbnails, or just on the videos that you think would do better?
I would first of all do the ones that are already getting a lot of views if they're not getting a high click-through rate. If they're getting a high click-through rate, maybe let them be.
Okay.
The second thing that I would look at is maybe some of the older videos, I would say that have at least 1,000 views. So you probably don't have a ton of them that are 1,000 views plus. Again, what's your channel average for audience retention? And I would do that based on the last 28 days. And then when you find a video that has more retention than that, and the click-through rate's not so good, run A/B tests on those also.
Oh, I like that.
You could literally see some instant growth.
Interesting. Okay.
Instant growth, like videos take off. So let's take a look. I just want to get a sense for what your other channels are. If you can kind of show me.
Sure. This is a channel that's kind of I call it my sleeper channel. It's not monetized. And because I'm an ex-TV producer, I thought it would be cool to interview other people who have worked in the business. Those videos did absolutely nothing. I kind of stopped doing it, but at your suggestion and some other folks, I decided to start making more content, like help content, like how I do videos and other things that might have some more, more interest in this community, because apparently watching ex-TV people in general didn't really do too much.
Okay, so before we really dig into this channel, a couple questions for you. So your most successful channel is the Sewing Report?
Yeah.
By far?
Well, here's the funny thing is it has the most subscribers, but it doesn't always make the most money.
Is in like affiliate links is mainly your revenue
and just
or
the
ad
ads.
ad
Yeah.
revenue.
Sometimes my husband's more approved channel does better. The Jen Talks Forever channel has been very all over the place with the AdSense. As far as the affiliate revenue, I feel like it's spread out pretty evenly between our channels because I link everything from one account.
Okay.
So I feel like overall, the affiliate revenue has been pretty decent, especially around the holidays. It seems like one of our channels always have one video that's currently popping, and then that gets a lot more revenue.
When you say affiliate, you're saying like Amazon affiliate?
Yeah, Amazon's pretty much the only one that works for me, except for I have one with a company called Blueprint. It's basically like a craft online class thing. And that does pretty good because you can't buy that anywhere else. You have to buy it through the website.
How much does that cost?
It's like $120 a year, but you get thousands of classes and free patterns. But that, for every lead, I get between $5 and $25. If they sign up for a year subscription, I get $25.
Okay.
Which can be pretty good.
The Amazon stuff, obviously, different channels are probably going to drive more traffic to different links, different products. Which do you sell the most of, do you think? And which do you make the most on?
I make the most on sewing machines, for sure, depending on what people buy. And people buy a lot of sewing supplies. There's always little stuff. There's the stabilizer for the embroidery machine we use, my rotary cutter. And my husband has sold a lot of gardening type stuff off of his channel. He did a video on installing blinds that is one of his better videos. One time someone bought 14 sets of blinds. It can be very good, and I'm trying to do more video. My reviews do pretty well on Jen Talks Forever and more approved. So I feel like doing more of those videos would be good for both YouTube and for Amazon affiliates.
Yeah.
The Amazon affiliate program is usually about half of our income every month from YouTube. So if YouTube is $500, Amazon affiliates will also be $500.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So around the holidays, yeah, $504, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And notice how far we've come. The Amazon affiliate program has been pretty awesome as a supplement to the YouTube stuff. Plus, I have a client on the side too. Right. So that's why it kind of all works financially for us.
And then you've got Jen Talks Forever. Tell me a little bit about that channel.
I've had trouble getting kind of a focus on that channel. I started doing random videos where I talk about life or I review products or whatnot. The revenue is all over the place too. Sometimes I've had it as high as $200. And right now it's at $69. Obviously the most popular video is by far is that house video, and anything where I'm talking about money too. So I kind of rebranded. I was having trouble. At first it was not an expert on life, but willing to talk about it.
Okay.
But then I kind of rebranded. I was like, you know what? People really are coming here for the financial stuff. So I think I'm going to focus more on living a frugal life, saving money, what I've done financially, because those videos have really done overall the best. All right, yeah, so 400,000 now.
Wow. Okay. So that's probably your best performing video, period.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, one of the things that pops out to me on that is the thumbnail is awesome. I want to know what the click-through rate is on that. 6.4%. So, I guess we got to see what this channel as a whole gets, but.
And this video has popped a few times, like probably once every few months. It gets a lot of views, which is interesting.
Kind of interested just to see quick what suggested videos is probably source types. Browse and suggested. Browse.
Yeah. And the video's not that good, so that's why I'm a little embarrassed about it doing so well, is because it's not like reflective of like.
But so here the thing is, like, it's an interesting topic. You know what I mean? Again, it's not like about the video quality and the editing necessarily. It's if the topic's interesting. Even if the production quality of your video is terrible, I'm gonna stay tuned to the end because I want to know what happened. Okay, we need to get clarity though. I think that's the big thing.
Okay.
So this video crushed it, which is awesome, which shows you like that's a potential avenue to go down in the future. So here's what I'm gonna tell you, based on everything I've seen, and based on what you told me where your revenue and is already coming from. Let me ask you one last question. There's a question I was going to ask you before. Where does your passion lie when it comes to these 3 channels? Like, I mean, obviously you like all of them enough to make a channel, but if you had like, which one is just like, I could just do this all day?
You know, I don't really, I don't know. I really like doing I love doing a variety of videos, and I think it comes from my background is because when you're working in a newsroom, every day you're working on different stories. I just really like making videos, so I would be cool making any type of video, but it does tend to get a little old when you're doing the same, and that's why we have so many channels apparently, is because I have so many different niches. Like I wish I could do one channel because I think it would be easier for me to maintain and grow. But like I can't really do videos about me being a TV producer on like the Sewing Report.
So here's what I'm going to tell you based on what I've seen then. First of all, I would put most of your eggs in the Sewing Report basket.
Okay.
With that, figure out how can I make different videos that keep me entertained and interested and keep doing it. So you could do your reviews, you could do like, you know, world's biggest scarf. You could do, you know what I mean? Just like crazy stuff that you think has the potential to go viral. And you know, you could do the upcoming sewing machines. Like, think about all these different topics that you could do.
It's true, like talking about what's happening in the sewing. And the other thing I would like to mention is I'm kind of a goofy person. I love comedy. So whatever kind of video I'm making, I really like it to have like a comedic, quirky spin.
Bring that in. Yeah. Don't be afraid to bring that. And I think to me, like that makes it more entertaining. Like you said, especially for the demographic you're going for.
Because most of the sewing videos out there are pretty like straight-laced.
I can imagine.
And I'm kind of a wacky person.
You know what you could do, and I think it would bring in more audience, and at the same time maybe even get people that aren't super interested in sewing start to get interested, is bring maybe some certain shtick you do, drunk sewing, or you know.
I tried it. My husband told me that was a terrible idea, so I did not.
Well, as long as you don't hurt yourself. But you know what I'm saying? Like maybe, or just like, you know, you wear a different funny hat every, you know, or I don't know, just something.
So one idea I've had, I thought it would be funny to do videos where I'm dressed in like, you know that big inflatable T-Rex Yes. I wanted to buy one and sew in it and be like Dinosaur Learns to Sew. Do you feel like those would take off?
I think, you know, you don't have to do it every video, but to bring it out, like make a series of it, like, and see what happens. And then that way you don't have to feel like you're getting bored and like, I don't have enough outlets. Like you're doing news on the, you know, the new things coming out. You could do some wacky stuff. You could do some more how-to stuff. You can do reviews, you know, the upcoming news. Like there's so many things that way. Keep Gen Talks forever around.
Just kind of do it whenever you
feel like it. And then if, you know, if you get some that randomly gets some traction.
If I get a new rice cooker or something.
Right. Because I think you're one of those few people, like I think a lot of people having 3 channels would burn them out.
Yeah.
I think for you, 3 channels you can handle, but you're not getting the results you could be. Really focus on your Sewing Report channel. I would kind of put XTV producer on the back burner for a while. What's your schedule right now with Sewing Report?
That's the thing. I've been doing about once a week. I feel like I want to up it to 3 times a week.
I would go 2-3 times a week, and then
maybe the live stream can be me talking about the current sewing stuff.
There you go.
The new sewing machines. I do want to bring the live show back, but it has been difficult to bring it back just because I haven't been doing it for so long.
One tip I want to give you on that I've noticed with myself is don't treat it like a live stream. Like, are we live? Oh, hey, how is it going, everybody? I would treat it like a video, and you just don't have to edit. And I would try to eliminate as many of the live stream elements as you can. Maybe say, I'll answer questions at the end and leave it at that in the beginning. So that way, like when people catch the video later, it's an actual video still.
And I think that's what was kind of irking people, is that it was chatter, like me reading comments and stuff.
And it's hard to ignore. I know, the chats. And then the other big thing I'm going to tell you, it sounds like, first of all, you know there's money to be made because you're making money on Amazon affiliates, and you're making money on affiliate sales from selling somebody else's product. Well, you're making, you said 20 to... How much do you make per sale? For what's $125 for the year?
For Blueprint,
Yeah.
usually it's like $25 if they do a subscription.
$25 that you make
that
out
comes
of
to me out of 120.
Okay, how would you like to just make the 120?
That's true. So I do my own.
Make your own product. So
Okay.
figure out, I mean, and don't copy them, of course.
Yeah.
Make your own twist. The other thing you got to keep in mind is you could just sell one product, and that's great. A good strategy to have, though, is when people are buying stuff online, they don't know if your product's going to be good. They don't know if they put their credit card in, if they're going to get anything. Start with a low price product, and then have another, like a couple higher price products that they can move into.
Okay.
All those clicks from people that are buying, like think about, okay, it's $25 for a $150 purchase, meaning 25 times 6 would be 150. So you could be making 6 times that a month. With that strategy, I would say with your review videos, you know, of course, link your Amazon affiliate links. It makes sense. You're probably going to get the most clicks on that. But at the end of your videos, and I wouldn't do this on every video because you start offloading too much traffic, your videos are going to suffer, your channel is going to suffer. But the ones where you're doing more like how to, at the end of the video say, hey, click here, go to this website, I'll give you this for free. If you pop in your email, you give them that free thing, they get on your email list. Through that email list, you can offer them a product.
I do have an email list of over 3,000 people. I checked.
Okay, and that's an automatic source right there. You put a product out, there's a good chance you could be selling them something.
Has anything popped out at you after talking to me about what my product, like that's the thing I'm having trouble is what.
There's a couple things you could do. You could do something more like a course for beginners, just like teaching them the basics of how to start with sewing. And I know there might be other ones out there, but what I would do is figure out what's an interesting angle for that makes it a little bit different. The other thing is what makes like you stand out as far as like, I know you're going for a younger demographic.
Yeah.
That lends itself to doing different projects, I would imagine, right? Like things that you would make. How many courses are there out there? Like, I don't know, what's a project that you would do that most channels out there wouldn't show how to do? Is there any like sorts of things that you make or?
You know, I don't know, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not much of a sewing teacher. Like,
okay.
I like doing these things and showing them, but I'm not really, like that's the thing that I think, I'm not really an instructor, and I'm not sure if instructional videos would really be my thing. So I feel like I have some self-doubt.
Stop talking Gen Talks forever.
Okay.
Look at this. 20,000 people say otherwise.
Okay.
When I started doing basketball tutorials, it was weird for me too, right? But here's the big thing. Number one, when that many people follow you, they watch multiple videos, to them, you know your stuff. You don't have to be the expert that knows everything. I had to get Haiti, my wife, over that hump too. She's like, you know, I know how to speak Spanish, but I never taught it. I'm like, you know how to speak Spanish better than me. I would be more than willing to learn from you. That's all it takes. Number two, like you're building a relationship with these people through putting out all this content. So like, not just that you know more than them, they're like, I like the way Jen teaches. I want a product from Jen. I don't care about whoever this blue course or what.
The blueprint.
The blueprint courses or what. Yeah, like to them, they're just some random folks.
Yeah.
You're Jen. You know what I mean? Like they've been watching a lot of your videos. So those are two of the big things to consider. And then number three, you say, well, I'm not really a teacher, but you've got multiple videos where you're teaching. And then the second thing that goes with that process of teaching is I've learned this myself from teaching basketball. I know so much more about how to dribble a basketball now because I've taught it. You know what I mean? Like you could do a thing a million times, and when you teach it, you just notice all these little things, or you're teaching someone else how to do it. Like, oh no, you're messing that up. And like, I never realized that was like something that I do. But the more you teach it, you see those things. So you have a lot of those understandings and details that you could share that are going to be different, and that's probably a big reason a lot of people watch your videos too, because you have a different approach, you have a different angle on how you do things, and they like it that way. So give them a product that does that, just more in depth, teaches it in detail. I would figure out what are some maybe different products that you could make that aren't out there, and even if you can't, at the end of the day, like a lot of what gets people to buy a product is number one, you, because again, okay, they've been watching your videos, they want to learn full in-depth course from you. But then besides that, like just putting a slight twist on maybe like the name of the product, kind of take some time to figure out, okay, what can I do that doesn't just make it, you know, at the end of the day, it's teaching them something they've learned before, but what makes it a little bit different? What's the one little tweak? What's the one little secret I have in there that makes it not like everybody else's? That can differentiate it. But really, at the end of the day, even if you just put a basic course out, you're leaving money on the table, number one. And number two, people want to buy from you.
like, how would you price this? Like, what would you?
I don't see any reason you couldn't sell something for $200 if that one course is being sold for $150.
Yeah.
Now I know to you that idea might sound crazy.
Yeah.
If you would have told me 5 years ago that I would sell one-on-one coaching for $5,000, I would have said you're nuts. What if you had here's a video course showing you how to make this exact thing, and here's where you can get all those things,
and do the
and just
affiliate link.
affiliate link.
That's true.
You know, and so that way you're giving them all the pieces without you having to worry about that overhead cost, the time to ship it out, all that stuff. And now you're giving them something that inspires you a little bit more and has a more of a finished project. And you can maybe sell a bundle, like you're gonna learn how to make this pillow, this blanket, and this, and they all match or something like that.
Yeah.
And now the whole thing's a bundle. You can give them PDFs, lists of things they need and what they need to do step by step. You can make a video also. So now it's like a big bundle of stuff, and the value goes up. And there's different formats for them to digest it, just like we did with my wife's course. There's PDFs, there's audio files, there's video files, there's her teaching on camera.
Oh, that's cool. So it's got a lot of stuff, and not just like an e-file or something.
Right, and there's more
really
going
cool.
on. And so now, it makes it's a little more cool. It's more all-encompassing. It's easier for different learning styles to take, something from it that they like best. And the value goes up. And you could put your affiliate links and make even more from it.
Exactly. Yeah, and then because that's what I like about the affiliate links is that I don't have any of, I don't have to ship any, it's just it's getting a percentage.
Done.
And
then your digital courses, same thing. Done. They sell, everything's automated. The way you could set it up is when they buy, you don't have to send them it out. It goes to them, they set up their password to the members area, done. Then the second idea I had.
Okay. I'm open.
This would be more of a high ticket, expensive, a getaway. What if you had a bunch of people come to your house or somewhere?
And there are, believe it or not, that does exist. They do retreats.
Exactly.
So, and they usually charge $500 to $600 just for the retreat itself.
Not the cost. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have to pay on top of that hotel.
You could do that for $1,000.
Yeah, if
easy.
if I had this, I think if I grow a bit and become more well known, I do think that might be more of a possibility.
You're not far from being able to do it now, I don't think.
Okay, really? Okay.
And also the other option would be I don't know how you would do this with sewing, I guess. So you would know about how that would work, but one-on-one consulting or helping of someone in some capacity.
This is excellent. I feel like I need to hear all this stuff, and I just feel like I've been spinning my wheels and not getting anywhere. I love doing this, and I don't want to have to stop doing YouTube, because this is truly what I like doing, is just YouTube. I want to ask, what do you think is my biggest weakness, and what do you think is my biggest strength after talking to me? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so biggest weakness is lack of focus on a channel.
Yeah.
And not having products, you're just handing money away to this company as an affiliate. Don't get me wrong, some people like that hands-off approach, but I just feel like it's not that much more work. It's more work up front to make the product, but once it's done, keeps making money. Biggest strength, I think, is though that with that channel, you've obviously got a good feel for the length of the videos is good, the thumbnails you're doing good on. You've built a big subscriber base, so that shows you've had enough consistency to get it to that point. And so with that strength, you've got the perfect foundation to literally have a pretty profitable business pretty quickly. And I mean, it already is a business, but you could be quadrupling that in a couple of months.
A lot more.